Hi everyone. It's another Queen listening day here, and I just sat down. My screens are blank. I haven't even turned them on. I have no clue what it is or even what number in the series. I guess I'm past 25. I remember that much, but somewhere there. And Vlad told me that this one is very different. I will find out in what way. So, before I read about it, let me remind you that you can always check out my Ko-fi and Patreon pages if you want to support my journey or if you want to see what I have going on there that isn't available here on YouTube. And check it out if you're interested. So let's see what I have to find out about this song. Okay, this is number 27. Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Bites the Dust. What's this about? Written by bassist John Deacon. You know, I think John Deacon comes up with some pretty great pieces of music, doesn't he? The song is credited as Queen's best-selling single with sales of over 7 million copies. Wow! The song won an American Music Award for Favorite Rock Single and also garnered a Grammy Award nomination for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. Recording sessions consisted of Deacon playing almost all instruments: bass guitar, piano, electric guitar, and hand claps. Roger Taylor added a drum loop, and Brian May contributed noises with his guitar and an eventide harmonizer. There are no synthesizers in the song. All effects are created by piano, electric guitars, and drums, with subsequent tape playback performed in reverse at various speeds. That must have been fun to put together and decide, okay, what are we going to do next to this thing to make it even more different. At the 1981 American Music Awards on the 30th of January, Another One Bites the Dust won the award for Favorite Pop Rock Single. Brian May said, Freddie would certainly fight for things he believed in, like Another One Bites the Dust, which was a bit of a departure for Queen. Roger at the time certainly felt that it wasn't rock and roll and was quite angry at the way it was going. And Freddie said, Darling, leave it to me. I believe in this. John had written the song, but it took Freddie's support to make it happen. That's interesting. So even within Queen's own group, there was a bit of debate about, is what we're doing really rock and roll sometimes? Can we call it that? Can we keep our reputation as a rock and roll band, or are we pushing the envelope too far? Freddie said credit for the song should go to Michael Jackson in many ways. He was a fan and friend of ours and kept telling me, Freddie, you need a song the cats can dance to. John introduced this riff to us during rehearsal that we all immediately thought of disco, which was very popular at the time. We worked it out and, once it was ready, played it for Michael. I knew we had a hit as he bobbed his head up and down. That's it, that's the gravy. Release it and it will top the charts, he said. So we did, and it did. This was the single that really broke the band in America, and it garnered a huge following amongst American disco audiences, with many fans and journalists convinced it was a black man singing vocals. These people obviously hadn't heard of Queen before, so didn't know what Freddie looked like. Well, that's great, because I've had a few of those moments myself, haven't I? Just recently, I listened to Jimi Hendrix for the first time. Well, I listened to the music without watching the video, and I don't know why. I have no idea why, but I never envisioned him as being a black person. And then, in one of our special live gatherings on Patreon, we did a special event where we listened to Jimmy's Woodstock performance all together, and he came on the screen. And it took me a moment to realize that that's not somebody before Jimi Hendrix, that is Jimi Hendrix. It was a funny little moment. But I guess it can go the other way too. Let's see, which other singer was it that I thought was black and turned out she was white? She did
Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin. So I'm not immune to these things. Another One Bites the Dust was used in a study to train medical professionals to provide the correct number of chest compressions per minute while performing CPR. Okay, the bass line has close to 110 beats per minute. and 100 to 100 chest compressions per minute are recommended by the British Heart Foundation and endorsed by the Resuscitation Council in the UK. Well, I have taken a CPR class myself at some point in the past. It's been a while. Our instructor didn't pick that song. In fact, I don't even remember which song he picked, but I have a fairly decent concept of beats per minute simply because I'm a musician and I'm used to relating what I'm playing to the metronome markings. So I didn't even try to remember what song he used, but I know it wasn't this one.
Down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat?
I'm trying to imagine Freddie in black.
To the sound of the beat, yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust, yeah. Hey, we're gonna get you too.
He couldn't be American black. Has to be British. There's too much of an accent.
How do you think I'm gonna get along without you when you're gone? You took me for everything that I had and kicked me out of my own. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? How long can you stand the heat? Out of the down where the bullets rain to the sound of the beat. Look out! Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Hey!
This is kind of...
Oh, take it! Dust! By the dust, yeah!
And they did this without synthesizers.
Hey!
What is that?
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Ow! Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey! Another one bites the dust. Hey! Ooh, shut up. There are plenty of ways that you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad, or you leave him when he's down. Yeah. But I'm ready, yes, I'm ready for you. I'm standing on my own two feet. Out the door where the bullets ring, repeating in the sound of bass. Oh, yeah. Another one bites the dust.
There are different sound effects in here that sound like a gunshot here, or bullets there, or shells falling on the floor. It's funny that way, and it has almost a inner city feel to it, and it's really descriptive in its presentation of the story or the idea. There's not that much of a story in here.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone.
Like this little.
Bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone.
Or this hand clap could actually be a
Another
shot
one
fired.
bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Shoot out. Hey. All right.
And some of these sounds like this one at the very end here, this drone that is fading in. However they created that guitar, some of their manipulations of the sounds, the way they fade in and then cut off so suddenly is like another one bites the dust. It's almost like this is a shadow coming, somebody's shadow approaching, or a figure approaching, just coming into view, and then bites the dust. Even the end of the drums, it's like some gunshots that echo in a big space. Funny. I mean, it's kind of dark in a way, isn't it? But it's presented in such a quirky, humorous manner. Of course, I wouldn't expect anything less from Queen. Steve walks warily down the street. Machine guns ready to go. Okay, so it's kind of an inner city picture, image that I get from this. Let's go back and listen to a couple little spots a bit more, because there were some places that came and went so quickly. So this opening here, this bass riff, we'll call it, it's catchy, and it has just enough syncopation right at the very end. This comes in a little earlier than we might expect. Would be unsyncopated, or with beat on the beat, but it comes just a little earlier. And so it leaves us kind of hanging a bit. And the drum, the percussion, I am not an expert on disco music at all, but I've heard a few disco pieces in my life, and so I can kind of feel and hear the disco beat style here, although I am quite disconnected from that world, so I don't know if I would have thought to say disco by name if it weren't in the preliminary paragraphs, but yes, it is. Now that it's stated, I recognize, yes, that's the disco style beat, and I can kind of imagine in a club, this music on and everybody's dancing, going crazy with it. It always strikes me as strange. And it's something that is really quite common in rock music and popular music and dance music, to put rather dark text to something that you're supposed to dance to and have fun, and there's this, it pulls two different directions. Well, of course, nobody's paying attention to the lyrics when they're dancing. They're just throwing themselves into the music. But it's a funny thing to do it that way, really. And at the same time, it gives the pieces a sort of multi-purpose quality, because you can either pay attention to what's being sung and get kind of into the darker, heavier subjects, or you can move towards the music, but they don't always match, do they? And I guess I've commented on that sometimes with the Beatles 150 series, that some of these Beatles songs, they're so upbeat and cheery, but the subject matter of it is really quite depressing or bitter or sad or forlorn. Well, this one, I have to say that the music suits the text. It doesn't give me that feeling that one doesn't belong to the other, because actually this music really does paint a picture for the lyrics. But at the same time, if you're into disco, you could totally dance to it. It does have that head bobbing, get yourself moving feel to it because of the beat. Nice little bit of layering in there. And then here's the first.
Let's go! He walks barely down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no
I'm a bit surprised that people thought that Freddie was black based on this piece of music. If they had heard something like Somebody to Love, I could imagine that more. But this one, somehow it doesn't have that feeling that I associate with a black singer so much. Of course, it's kind of unfair to say that a black singer sounds this way and a white singer sounds this way, because it's all about the voice and the individual voice and the style and all of that. But still, there are cultural habits and customs which, if you're really pushing yourself towards a cultural traditional music style that comes from one culture or another, then you start to feel, okay, yeah, that he could be black or he could be white. But here, I don't really hear Freddie's voice with the sound that I personally associate. The style is good. He has the rhythm. He has the blues background. He has all of that. But somehow, maybe it's just because I've listened to so much Queen and I already have an image in my mind. I can't associate it. But it's amusing to me that that's what came to people's minds.
with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the
Bit of
edge of your
suspense
seat?
here.
Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah.
This is one of those, it's almost as if you hear the bullets flying through the air. And then the drums come in right after, so you actually hear the bullets being shot.
Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah.
Machine
Another
gun.
one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey. We're gonna
Just
get
check
you.
them off one at a
Another
time.
one bites the dust.
This crescendo drone, this particular sound, speaking of what we associate sounds with, voices, whatever, this sound is what makes me think of it as being in an urban, a city, or an inner city setting. I can't associate that sound with the countryside, really. It just doesn't match to my visual, aural imagination. And so those particular sounds, why can't I? That's an interesting question. Why can't I associate it with the countryside, with a rural setting? I guess it has to do with texture. And I have this, when you're in a densely populated city area, there are narrow alleys, flat surfaces, hard surfaces, not necessarily a lot of color or varied texture. And so I think of flat, hard, straight, monochromatic. And this sound kind of matches that set of associations for me. I guess that's probably why I think of it that way. a little bit metallic sounding too, isn't it? Like it could be an engine or something scraping along, but it doesn't have to be, but it's those kinds of matching type sounds that work for me that way.
One bites the dust. How do you think I'm gonna get along without you when you're gone? You took me for everything that I
Fun little
wanted.
guitar
Take
here, isn't
me
there?
out of my own.
I'm noticing as I'm listening to the guitar this time, and I guess that's what these little X's are here. I've noticed this a bit on occasion in other moments of guitar music, and actually I remember referencing the Jimi Hendrix experience. It was, which piece was it that started with that really percussive guitar? Chicka, chicka, chicka.
Voodoo Child.
Oh yes, Voodoo Child. I just recently listened to Voodoo Child, and which really uses that sound a lot. And so I picked it up here. Oh, that's the same type of sound. Probably the same picking, strumming, playing technique.
Just a fun fact. When Jimmy once played in England,
Okay.
Brian May was in the auditorium watching.
Ooh. I can imagine. That must have been great because, well, I know how it is when I go watch a master harpist, some world-class harpist. I'm sitting there watching their technique, all the details, and listening to their sound, and I imagine Brian May was doing the same. And these are more bullets, right? And machine gun.
Another one bites the dust.
Now you have two voices here.
Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust.
Checking them off the list.
Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Hey!
It's really all about driving you into the rhythm and making you feel the beat.
Oh, take it.
And so everything happening here, making you really throw yourself into the beat, and you can have this long stretch of just the drums in this. I'm going to use the word boring, but I don't really mean boring. Monotonous. I'll say monotonous. That's better. This monotonous, repetitive beat that just keeps cycling and cycling and cycling through. And there's nothing really changing about it, but that's one of the features that makes it become so compelling, almost obsessive. And it's the same thing with this little riff. Deet, 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 deet. We hear it over and over and over and over again. It's down low, so it's not like it's pounding in our ears. It's down in the bass range, but still it's there and it's there and it's there and it's there. And then Freddie's voice over everything is the distraction a bit. It's more like all of this is the scene, setting of the scene, and then Freddie is this Steve walking down the street and with his machine gun or whatever, and just checking them off one by one. Another one bites the dust. That one. Okay, let's hit that one over there. Let's hit that one over there. It's kind of a gangster type scenario, isn't it? Something crashing down there. Okay, some more stuff happening. All these sounds which I want to say synthesized, but they're not synthesized. And here's this drone again. Oh, here. This is what caught my ear the first time around. It sounds like, I don't know, is that shells dropping on the floor after they've been shot? And there's the machine gun.
Another one busts the dust. Ow! Another one busts the dust. Hey, hey! Another one busts the dust. Hey!
And we're back to this. Actually, his voice there actually reminds me of Janis Joplin's singing.
There are plenty of ways that you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad. You leave
And since I imagined her as being black, then I guess I can't fault people for imagining Freddie black, huh? Another one. And by this point, we just feel like it's the same story. It's the same story over and over again. Oh, here's the guitar again. The bass there is doing something a little bit different. Dee, 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 dee. There we are at the end again already. But for being such a repetitive, almost elementary type of music writing, it's incredibly colorful, isn't it? There's not even a lot of consistent textural variation through here. We have the drums over and over, we have the bass, we have the guitar, we have Freddie's voice, we have these little sounds interjected here and there to kind of fill in the landscape for us. And that's about it. There isn't anything much more than that in this piece. And isn't it interesting to see how a piece that is so elementary in its design, in its parts, can be so catchy and become such a famous piece of music, such a big hit. Number one, what was it? Anyway, 7 million copies, over 7 million copies. Best-selling single? I mean, that's impressive. And it is catchy. Well, this is certainly suitable for CPR as well. I can, because the beat is so strong. And so if you know the song, you can just pump away at that beat and think, another one bites the dust. We hope not this time. That's a fun one. And there we have another example of Queen's really masterful versatility and their ability to take practically any style, any genre, and create something that feels very authentic, feels very much like it belongs there. It's not a copy, it's not an imitation, it's not a try to do something that is really out of our league. They can go wherever they want to go, and that's pretty impressive. So here we have another one bites the dust. Go practice your CPR. I'll see you soon.